Behind these walls is where I found freedom. I spent over 2,000 days in prison, learning more about myself in this life than I ever could have thought possible.
Just behind these walls, I spent 17,520 hours changing my life. And when I teamed up with Sean, it was to change 1 billion lives for the better. Join us today and level up and become the architect of your greatest life.
Sean Michael Crane here with Convicted Mindset, and we're talking about what it's like to get out of prison. Today I'm going to talk with you about my first 60 days out of prison, what I was going through up here and here, how I got my feet back on the ground, and really how I was able to get some traction and build momentum to create the life I have today. As you see, I'm in my home office today. This is where I work. I do coaching, I do speaking around leadership, mindset, and I'm able to do what I dreamt of all those years ago when I was in a cell by myself with nothing. The things that I wanted to do, the impact that I wanted to have, my beautiful wife, my children, like everything that my heart was calling me to do, I've been able to experience and achieve. And I'm not saying that to say, oh, look at me. I want you to know that it's possible for you too. If you let go of the vices, the things that are holding you back, and you make a commitment to yourself, right, to take action, to be that person that you want to be, and you're just willing to take baby steps every day, you'd be amazed at what you can accomplish in your life. So when I got out of prison, I paroled to my aunt and uncle's house to a trailer on their property. I literally had a bag of possessions, which were my journals, books that I took from prison, any paperwork I needed, and $200 that they give you for gate money, and the dress outs that my brother had sent in. And that was it. That was it. And I had this vision of how everything was going to go when I got out of prison. I knew I wanted to work with people. I wanted to make an impact. In prison, I was able to mentor other inmates, and it showed me, man, this is your purpose. Like, you love to see other people make changes. You believe in the underdog. Like, I had come from such a tough beginning of my life, and I was making changes, and I wanted to see other people do that too. So coming home, I started to recognize, man, that so many people were walking around trapped in a mental prison. They were allowing fear, doubt, excuses to hold them back, and they just ended up living this life that wasn't what they wanted. They worked a 9-to-5 that paid them shit money that they didn't like. They were grumpy, they were irritable, they let their health go, they were all overweight. They weren't, having the intimacy with their loved ones as they wanted. They weren't passionate about life. And I thought, man, there's something wrong here. I got to share my experience with people so that they can see, hey, you get one shot at this thing. Like, if you look back and you have the regret that I felt in my prison cell, you're going to wish that you would have lived your life much differently. So I was on a mission to bring this awareness and this message to people. And I didn't know how I was going to do that. The first couple months on my aunt and uncle's property, I didn't know what I was going to do. Every night I would just be up. My mind was racing. I had a lot of anxiety and stress. Like, can you create the life you want? Are you just going to go back to mediocrity? I knew I wasn't going to go back to drugs and alcohol, but my biggest fear was just settling for less than I knew in my heart I was capable of achieving. And that's what I had done previously in my life. I skated through life. I wasted opportunities. I lived carelessly. And that's what led to the regret that I faced in my cell, man. And I couldn't do that to myself again. But I didn't know where to start. And I'll never forget one morning I just got up. It was still dark out. And I went on this long run back in the canyon. It was a 10-mile run up and down these hills. I was annihilated by the time I got back. But something inside of me, something in my mindset was triggered on that run. Fighting through that adversity, fighting through the pain of going up and down those hills, wanting to quit. I just purged that inner bitch and that negative energy that was plaguing me in that first couple months out. And I remember I ran back. I'm coming down my uncle's driveway and he saw me and I was fired up, man. He's like, damn, look at you. I just got up. What were you doing? I said, I'm back. Because that first couple months, man, it's hard to transition from prison back out into society. Everything's fast paced. You're trying to figure out how to fit in. And I was so used to my routines in prison. It was a completely different world. I had just overcome one massive obstacle and challenge in my life. And now there was another that I was facing. And I had to adjust. I had to adjust and adapt quickly. And so that transition from prison to that run was rough. I felt like I wasn't in control of my emotions. My mind was running tricks on me and playing games on me. And I hated the way I felt. So after that run, I knew I had to take action. I didn't want to go back to working for my uncle's tree service like I had before prison, working a 9-to-5 and just living my life like that. Most people would have said, hey, Sean, you're sober. You have a good job waiting for you. Just meet a cool chick, have a family. Just live a good life, man. That's good. Look where you just came from. That'll be a great life for you. But in my heart, it wasn't what I wanted. And I knew I had to get off that property and to take action as quickly as possible. So what happened is I started going through my old contacts, trying to find someone that I could network with. And I came across an old friend who I remember did personal training back in the day. And so I called him up. I said, hey, are you still doing personal training? Are you still training fitness clients? And he said, yeah, I'm really busy right now, man. Why, what's up? And I told him I just got out of prison. The whole time I was in there, I was just immersed in my personal development. Exercise was like a pivotal, a cornerstone of my growth. It gave me purpose. It gave me confidence. It gave me drive. And I shared that with him. I told him, hey, I want to work with people. I want to help people, man. And he said, well, I'm really busy right now, and I'm actually looking for another trainer to, kind of mentor or as an apprentice. Would you be interested in coming down and taking some clients? And I said, yes, absolutely. Like, this is my shot, man. I'll do anything. What do I got to do? He said, you have to be certified as a fitness trainer, and you have to come down and talk to the owner of the gym and see if it's okay if you work here, and tell him your background and what you just went through. So the next week and a half, I locked myself in my uncle's office. I started, going through the certification process. I had to write a bunch of essays. I had to read a whole textbook, a big textbook, and take an exam. But the whole time I was in prison, I had been preparing for this moment. I wasn't going to wait till I got out or 90 days to the house like all the other guys said to do. I was doing this for years and years and years. Any book I could get my hands on related to sports medicine, physiology, exercise science, I devoured it. And I didn't just read it, I memorized it, I took notes. I knew that time in there was going to serve me when I got out. So I took the test, I got certified, and then I was all set to come out and meet the owner of the gym that Monday. And then that week, wildfires just started decimating this area that I was living in, burning down everything, homes, the town, like everything. We had to evacuate, and for a week and a half, we were displaced. And in that time, I was helping my aunt and uncle with their possessions. All the homes on their street burned down. Theirs was spared, thank God. But it was a chaotic time. And so I'm thinking, man, what's going on? This is not how I planned it to be. And then a couple days later, these rainstorms, torrential rainstorms come through our area in Southern California, and there's mudslides everywhere. My uncle's canyon, there's mudslides. We can't even get back to his property. And we're still staying at this Airbnb. When we got displaced, we went and stayed at an Airbnb. And then the US 101, the freeway, going to Santa Barbara, where I needed to get to, was shut down. So now I'm 2 months out of prison. Wildfires just burned down this whole area I'm in, and now we're trapped due to these mudslides. And I'm still trying to adjust and figure out like how I'm gonna live my life. I'm almost 30 years old and I have nothing. I'm trying to catch up, man. I'm trying to get ahead. I want to live a good life, and I just felt like all this stuff was happening, and I didn't know what to do. I just knew I had to find a way to get to Santa Barbara on Monday. This is all happening the week prior, so that I can meet the owner of the gym and start training these clients and chase my dreams, chase the vision that I've obsessed over for over 2,000 days in prison. And I'll never forget, I went back through my phone, my contacts, and I knew one of my friends had been a pilot. He would do like these sunset tours in Santa Barbara in a little single engine Cessna. And he offered to take me up one time and just check out the sunset long time ago, and I never did. But I called him up. I said, hey man, are you still flying? Like, I didn't know what else to do. I could have ran to Santa Barbara. I could have, got a bike and rode the side streets, but I just called him up. I said, hey, are you still flying? And he's like, yeah, man. In fact, with these mudslides and everything going on, I've been commuting people from Ventura County to Santa Barbara County. He worked at this really nice hotel in Santa Barbara, and his boss lived in Ventura. So he would literally fly down Monday morning, pick up his boss, bring him back to Santa Barbara. His boss would work all week and stay at that nice hotel, and then he'd fly him back home because the freeways were shut down. There was no way into Santa Barbara. And these mudslides were horrific. People died. It was all over the news. Mansions were just decimated by these mudslides. And so I asked him, hey, is there any way I could catch a ride with you? I told him what was going on. And he said, yeah, meet me at the airport at 7 a.m. on Monday. So I literally packed up all my stuff in that trailer. By this time, I had saved a little more money. I had like $700. I had my sack over my back, a little bit of clothes that I had acquired, and I was gone. I was down there at the airport at 7 a.m. on Monday, and we're flying in. And I'll never forget, he looks over at me and he goes, so where are you going to stay, man? I said, hey, Nick, I have no idea. I have no idea where I'm going to stay. I just need to get to the gym and secure this job. He's like, what do you mean? You don't even know where you're going to stay? You can't get back to Ventura. You know that. What are you going to do out here? And I didn't even care, man. I was all in. I knew I was going to make it happen. That was my mentality. And he said, well, my dad rents out rooms to college kids. And right now, people are gone for winter vacation. You should hit him up. Maybe he has a room for rent. So as soon as we landed in Santa Barbara, he took me right to the gym. And I met the owner. I was totally transparent with him. I told him I had been to prison. I told him I was motivated to live a good life and I wanted to give back and help other people. I was certified and he gave me a shot. He said, you could train at my gym. So the next day I had clients ready for me at 5 a.m. Just like that. And so now I had to go find out where I'm going to stay. So we drove to his dad's house and his dad, and I talked and I literally gave him all my money. I gave him $700. That was for my first month's rent. I gave him everything. I left my backpack or whatever I had there. And that was it. Now I had a job and a place to stay. But I needed a car. How was I going to get to the gym? How was I going to get around? And my uncle had a mechanic in town. I went to his spot and I checked out all these cars he had. Everything was obviously out of my price range because I had no money. But there was one car he was willing to let me use temporarily until I saved up some money. And it was a Honda Civic with the whole rear end just smashed in. I mean, there was barely any room to fit in the car. The back seats were smashed in. There was no trunk. You would not want to be seen driving this car. People would literally be pointing at you, wondering how this car is making it down the road. But this was my shot, and I knew I had to take it. So I got the keys, man. Now I had a car to get to work the next day. I had a place to sleep that night, and I had a job waiting for me the next morning in an industry that represented my opportunity to chase my dreams and to help people and to make a real impact in this world. And I never looked back ever since. The next morning, I drove that car to the gym. I got there at 4:45. I parked it around the corner so no one would see me, and I was training my first client. And I share that with you guys because I want you to recognize three things, okay? Number one is make sure that you're so invaluable, that you're so prepared for situations like that you're always going to be the prime candidate. What I mean by that is I had spent over 2,000 days preparing for that moment. I had spent years devouring books related to fitness and exercise science. I had worked with inmates in prison, training them, showing them how to build muscle and build confidence through their daily habits. I knew I could help people. By the time I got to that gym, I was the best candidate by far. That individual, the owner, he saw my motivation. He saw how hungry I was. He saw that desire in my eyes, and he gave me a shot because of that. If you're somebody that, wants to change jobs, right? Or a new career, you want to create wealth for your family down the road, whatever it is, start now. Start becoming so valuable. Acquire new information, gain that knowledge that no matter what, you cannot be denied. Make sure that when you show up for that job interview, you're prepared, that you're the best candidate and that you cannot be denied. Okay, number two, this is something that helped me tremendously from that point to where I'm at today. And that's the people that you spend time with, whether it's mentors, friends, acquaintances, whatever it is. I always want to be the most inexperienced, least knowledgeable person in any room, whether that's related to business, how to become a better dad, finance, whatever it is. I've learned to surround myself with mentors and people that help me to grow exponentially. I didn't go back to my old group of friends. I have family and I love them and I see them, during the holidays or special occasions, but I'm not with them all the time. I'm around people that I want to become like. I'm around people that are ahead of me on the journey so that I can start to pick their brain, so that I can start to learn by proximity, by being close to them. And over time, guess what happens to me? I elevate at a rapid pace. One of the things I started doing after I was training those clients in the gym is hiring mentors, paying for business coaches, paying people to pick their brain, to learn their knowledge, to learn what they were doing in their life so that I could apply it to my own life. And it helped me grow tremendously, both personally and professionally. So whether it's your friends or mentors, make sure that you have the right people in your circle that are always inspiring you to be better every day. They're not keeping you stuck or stagnant. Okay, that's crucial. And number three, willingness. If I wasn't willing to do whatever it took to find a way to Santa Barbara, to take those tests and to get that certification, to literally drive a Honda Civic around that most people refuse to drive, to give all my money away and bet on myself, right, to get to that room and have a place to stay, then I wouldn't be here talking to you today. My willingness to take action and to do whatever it took and to believe in the possibilities rather than believe that it can't happen is the reason I'm here today. I always believed in the outcomes that I wanted to achieve. I never had a plan B. I never thought that, this won't work out. I always told myself, find a way no matter what. So if you show up somewhere and you're the most valuable candidate, right? And you continuously surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, more knowledgeable, more educated, more experienced, and you're willing to take action and do whatever it takes, you will be successful in whatever you want in life. I promise you that. Remember those three things, apply them to your life every day, and it will serve you. Hope this was an entertaining story for you guys. I got more to come. If you want to check us out or get any of our free resources, go to convictedmindset.com.
Welcome to Convicted Mindset. I'm your co-founder and co-host, Travis Richey.
And I'm Michael Crane.
And we're here to make sure that you have the tips and the tricks and the resources necessary to lead the greatest life possible. We realized with our time spent incarcerated that some of the worst prisons in America were not made of concrete and steel, but were rather the limiting beliefs and the self-doubt and the mindset that didn't serve you to be the best human possible.
We want to take all of the strategies and learning lessons that we uncovered in our time of incarceration and bring those resources to people who feel stuck in their life right now. We've developed 4 pillars of self-mastery that cover mental, physical, spiritual, and financial well-being to give you access to that information so that you can apply it to your life. We've created a Convicted Mindset coaching program to literally walk you through those steps and give you 52 weeks of accountability and support so you can break through any limiting beliefs you have or stuck points in your life right now and really start creating that life 2.0 that you've dreamt of.
What we realized that while we were incarcerated was that access to real life-changing skills was scarce. And so what we want to make sure that we're giving to you are tangible step-by-step resources that help you physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially to take you from where you are to where you know you deserve to be. Join us today at convictedmindset.com and help us level up the world to change 1 billion lives for the better.